This video is going to be a quick hit on the Constitution. Now, just like the video on the Oregon Constitution, you will not get all the information you need from this video. You will have to read the supporting documents. Now, when you're done with this video, you should know and be able to explain the purpose of the Constitution, describe the provisions of the first 10 amendments, the Bill of Rights, describe the organization of Congress as well as the qualifications for serving in the House and the Senate, tell me how a bill becomes a law, tell me what the qualifications and duties are, the major elected officials, president, Supreme Court justice, stuff like that, and describe the ways in which the Constitution can be amended. You ready? Here we go. Article 1 talks about the legislative branch. It's also known as Congress. Article 2 talks about the executive branch or the presidency. Article 3 is all about the judiciary and the federal courts. Article 4 talks about the federalism, the relationship between the national and the state government. Article 5 outlines the constitutional amendment process. Article 6, among other things, tells you that the Constitution is the supreme law of the land. And Article 7 tells how this Constitution will be ratified. The Oregon Constitution, when amended, integrates those amendments into the text of the document itself. The national Constitution just kind of staples the amendments to the end of the document. So that's one of the big differences between the Oregon and the United States Constitution. The Bill of Rights, First Amendment, is your first 5 freedoms. Second is the right to bear arms. Third, prohibits the quartering of troops in private homes. Fourth Amendment, search and seizure. It is the rights of the accused. Fifth Amendment is the rights of suspects. Self-incrimination, double jeopardy, due process, as well as a little piece in there about eminent domain, the taking of private property for public use. Sixth is the rights at trial, as well as the right to confront your accuser and the right to an attorney. Seventh Amendment provides for a jury trial in civil suits. These are suits where somebody has experienced a wrong, but no law has been broken. Eighth Amendment prohibits cruel and unusual punishment, as well as excessive fines or bail. Ninth is the non-enumerated rights. Just because we didn't write it down in the Constitution doesn't mean that you don't have those rights as a citizen. And the 10th Amendment, the rights not given to the federal government or the rights not prohibited to the states are reserved to the states or the peoples of the states. The 11th outlines how a citizen can sue a state. The 12th Amendment combines the president and the vice president into one ticket. Used to be that the person who got the most votes was president and the second most was vice president in the Electoral College. In modern terms, that would have led to a President Trump and a Vice President Hillary Clinton. 13th Amendment abolished slavery. 14th Amendment applied the Constitution and the Bill of Rights to the states, especially due process, equal protection of laws, as well as extending the privileges and immunities among the states. 15th Amendment prohibited discrimination based on race in terms of voting. 16th Amendment provided for an income tax. 17th Amendment gave people the direct election of senators rather than having to go through state legislatures. The 18th Amendment prohibited alcohol consumption and sale. 19th Amendment gave the women the right to vote. 20th Amendment moved the inauguration date from late March to the middle of January. That way, the president, if it was going to change, wouldn't have almost 5 months between the November election and the March inauguration of the next president. 21st Amendment repealed the 18th Amendment. Prohibition has ended. 22nd Amendment limited presidents to 2 terms. 23rd Amendment gave Washington, D.C. 3 electoral college votes. 24th Amendment eliminated poll taxes and other restrictions on voting. Most of these were found in the South, the former Confederacy. The 25th Amendment is huge. It outlines the succession of president and vice president. It also provides for presidential disability. If the president is unable to discharge the duties of his office, then he can either voluntarily give up the office for a time, and we've seen this happen a lot when presidents need to go into surgery and they're under anesthesia, or if the vice president and a majority of the cabinet decide that the president is incapacitated, they can declare the president incapacitated, and the vice president becomes the acting president. 26th Amendment gave 18-year-olds the right to vote, and the 27th prohibited Congress from raising their own pay. Any pay raises had to be done in the next congressional session.